a gyro IO, and normally it was a safe lane duo, and then he would just get the double stacks in the dire woods, break those trees, and Bernie would walk out of the woods. Usually the most farmed hero in the game, regardless of how much space the enemy team got. Not the case here, though, as the Tiny will be grabbed again. That'll be Maybe's hero, so everything's starting to come into focus. Time to ban a Yao hero. They banned the clock, so they will leave the Earthshaker available. Almost guaranteed LGD will take it. As for NaVi, looking for the Funnick pickup. Actually, he does play Bounty Hunter, so it could be an off-lane bounty. That might be the X factor. Maybe they get a different additional support, so maybe we still see that Suniko Wyvern. In fact, I think LGD may expect that more. Their Gyro is good against the bounty in lane, but on his own should be okay. No, they opt to ban a Funnick hero, but I'm still thinking there's a decent chance this is a Funnick Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, especially if you want to run potential dual lanes coming out here from NaVi, or at least have supports that are flexible in their laning, so you can have the bounty played by Funnick kind of prioritize a bit more farm and experience on him than a normal bounty hunter, but then he can leave the lane once he gets those early levels, gets like a level 3, 4, 5, and has a few points in Shuriken, and can cause some problems maybe for the IO at mid lane. Contest runes as well is a big part about dealing with an IO.
I think they were even worried about the dual lane possibilities here. The Darkseer Bounty Hunter, a scourge of many a pub game.
Oh yeah.
For those who have played against it. Always come with sentries and dust, boys and girls. But, well, let's see. NaVi down to the last pick now. Time to lay the cards on the table.
By the way, NaVi also run offlane Queen of Pain. This is not really a Havos hero, so
That's
something
true
to always consider is that this last pick could well be Havos hero if they want to run the Dendi Shadow Fiend mid, Queen of Pain in the offlane for Funnick, because I would say more often than not it's actually Funnick on Queen of Pain, so...
Yeah, I would be interested to see the exact stats on that once we finish up the draft here, but it really could go either way. And that's the one nice... Oh, it's an axe? So, okay, it is going to be the support bounty hunter. It will be a Funnick axe. It's, well, actually, it could be a Havos axe.
Axe could be safe lane, could be off lane. It
could be Havos axe. In fact, he tends to play those types of heroes a little bit more than Funnick.
Yeah.
We've seen the Slardar quite a bit this event already. That is the one nice thing I think NaVi have in a lot of drafts, is their cores are more interchangeable than, like, for example, LGD. You know maybe he's always going to be on that harder carry mid. Maybe he goes safe lane, but he's always getting a certain level of farm priority. Sylar's just played Gyrocopter, I feel like 80% of his games here at TI. Well, what LG do want for Yao? That's the big question mark. Go-to would be the Earthshaker. Anything else that is less conventional that comes to mind for you?
Not really. I feel like this, just for Yao and his playstyle, Earthshaker suits him so well. Unless they're worried about the 1v1, because they'll look back on that game against Secret and be like, well, Bounty's going to roam. Disruptor may help out the off lane or mid lane, wherever it may be. And if you get a 1v1 against Queen of Pain, do you want something that can at least match up a little bit better and get a bit more farm?
Against the Axe, potentially.
Yeah, against the Axe, potentially.
That's what's nice about the Axe here. He could solo the safe lane. Then they have a stronger off lane with the Queen of Pain plus roaming Bounty Hunter plus Disruptor. Yeah, maybe LGD want more of a ranged offlaner, but they feel like they need a little bit more team fight as well. So where is it going to come from? It's kind of a predicament. Normally,
Tidehunter is a possibility.
Does decently against Axe.
There's been like 1 or 2 Tidehunter picks there at the group stage.
Bring up the heroes list here. What do we got?
Another hero that comes to mind is Wind Ranger, but that doesn't seem like a Yao hero to me. But
no, I mean Puck as well could be a choice for other teams, but again, not really a Yao hero per se. I don't think you want something too farm intensive. You're not really looking at the Timbersaws of the world right now.
Yeah.
Spirit Breaker, again, not really a Yao hero. Doesn't do great against Axe, though, is the thing.
Earthshaker could be the safe pick, but we'll see. They're going to go Spirit Breaker.
All right. It is the Space Cow. I don't know. That's still not an easy lane for him against Axe.
Yeah.
Unless it comes down to a lot of RNG, right? If you're getting all the bashes and he doesn't get spins, but...
Much better than the Earthshaker matchup. Well, Earthshaker you can go for like a gimmicky totem build, but he doesn't. That's not the Yao way. And that's not going to suit their mid-game. Like, around 10 minutes in, Yao wants to go help out the mid lane. If you've gotten for like a 1 Fissure 3 totem build, like, that's not going to help out your mid lane as much as you otherwise would, so...
It's definitely the expectation was the Shaker. The one nice thing with Spirit Breaker is it puts a lot more pressure on Dendi mid. He does not have a great defensive support. Bounty Hunter is not going to help you if Tiny Wisp run at you and Spirit Breaker is already charging. Can't interrupt the charge, generally speaking. I mean, maybe with a Shuriken toss, but that is just low percentage, and normally you don't even have it skilled in the first couple levels.
5 seconds remaining.
Compared to a Shaker, just much more of a ganking threat in those first few first few waves could pose a bit of a threat here.
Yep. So it will be Havost on the Axe, as we kind of talked about, and interesting to see whether they put the Axe safe lane and have the Disruptor up top with the Queen of Pain, put the Disruptor with Axe. These lanes quite flexible.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in from the live streams wherever you are in the world. Get ready for an exciting match. It's LGD Gaming sitting atop of the group, tied with Secret after a thrilling 1-1 series earlier today. They want the 2-0s here. They've got NaVi on the docket right now, and well, as for Secret, they'll be battling up against MVP and Complexity. LGD still to face Fnatic later in the tournament. That will be tomorrow. But for now, NaVi, they're the team fighting for their playoff lives here, gods. They want to start in the upper bracket. In order to do it, they really need 2-2-0s, and well, LGD sits there as the brick wall in front of them. Can NaVi find the old magic? If there ever was a time, now is the time. So we get underway with the game. Both teams moving into the bottom side of the map. We are going to have a quick pause here from MMY. But as we were discussing during the draft, the curveball from LGD is the Spirit Breaker. They see the last pick of the Axe. Before that, if this was, say, Team Secret, you almost certainly expect a Queen of Pain safe lane. But when they see the Axe come out, they think that's likely the safe lane hero for Havost, anticipating an Earthshaker off lane, and that's something Axe would dominate 1v1. So LGD make a bit of an adjustment. They get the more aggressive off laner for Yao, as well as something that can put more pressure on the Shadow Fiend of Dendi mid.
Well, so Nico going to get some good scouting information, sees the LGD 5-man at the bottom rune, and now NaVi can make the call just to not fight this. Dendi's going to go for the top bounty rune. He's got 2 branches and doesn't really want to fight this at all.
We'll have an early skirmish here, perhaps. And Nico is the one scouting it. Does not really want to run down into the river. Oh, is he going to go for this?
Sentry heal.
This is risky. So Nico, oh, he does grab that.
Whoa,
oh, that's
they don't
so
even
bold.
sentry it.
The double bounty steal could have easily been a first blood, but he ends up living to tell the tale. A risky maneuver, and it works out. And LGD actually switching up the lanes. They end up sending the Spirit Breaker top, and they're going to aggro dual lane, and oh, this is the beauty of Gyrocopter. He can pretty much go anywhere, but it does leave a Queen of Pain versus Spirit Breaker matchup, something that most Spirit Breaker players aren't too excited to see.
Yeah, this is I'd say, smart decision. The Axe has a lot of problems against the Rocket Barrage. You can't just run into the Gyrocopter too easily. And the Spirit Breaker against Queen of Pain is not that big of a mismatch like the Earthshaker matchup we saw last game for Yao, or early against Secret for Yao. So he can hold his own to some extent. He's very tanky with a Stout Shield and plenty of HP regen.
Well, Dendi already going to work here in the mid lane, and because they did not get the bounty rune for LGD, the bottle is a bit delayed. Only now coming out. It forces maybe into a quick salve. Dendi only sitting on 3 CS, but a good start for a Shadow Fiend in this matchup. There will be a bit of a Sentry Ward war here in the mid lane, and there's currently 1 on Xiao 8. None on MMY, though. It gives Saniko the edge, and it is worth pointing out he's been doing some warding off in the dire jungle here. He put 1 ward towards the most commonly stacked camp, and he's might even look for some body blocks if that IO continues to move and focus on economy. Now swinging around towards the bottom lane, but in they go. They make their move on Dendi, and well, don't kill him yet, but they threaten him. As soon as the bottle arrives, you can start to make these types of plays and always have your regen at the ready.
Yeah, Dendi going to be bottle crowing, and he has to be very careful at how he moves around this map. So Saniko comes back, and he's going to be kind of constantly having to babysit Dendi here to secure his farm.
Uh-oh. Well, this could be trouble. No
Yikes.
Sentries, though. They really need to get that sentry over to the mid lane. Still sitting on the Dazzle bottom. In fact, he's walking towards the rune. He may just complete the journey. Getting harassed a bit by the Disruptor, but in they go in the mid lane. Maybe working on Dendi. Can't quite finish him off. Bottom rune will spawn. It's a bounty. Top rune, a regen. That's the real bounty. And Dendi will claim it. But they're contesting.
And they make their way down, but they're too late.
Charge, toss forward. Dendi in trouble here. He's going to miss the first raise. That could end up costing him his life. Abba and the bash. Yao will get the kill. MMY may pay to Saniko. Oh, just out of range. Barely able to slice him up with those blades. So it's a 1-for-1, but the death of the Shadow Fiend, a horrible price to pay here for NaVi.
Yeah, Funny comes in for some Shadow Strike punish, but yeah, he's pretty tanky, and he's actually just going to go for that 17% bash and cross his fingers and hope for the best here. Funnick doesn't want to fight him.
It's really the difference between an Earthshaker and a Spirit Breaker. If that's an Earthshaker, you don't have that opportunity. He's too slow, too immobile.
Too squishy.
And also would be suffering way more against this Queen of Pain, so We can see the slight adjustment in draft working out well so far. We'll see if the lack of team fight presence makes a difference later.
Yeah, and looking at bottom lane, Gyrocopter farming well, although Axe is also getting some okay CS here. Hasn't been completely punished, although has decided he wants to rotate into the jungle.
Yeah, they've more or less abandoned this bottom lane. Just a Disruptor sitting there now. Havos trying to complete his Tranquil Boots. He's got a little ways to farm for it. So overall, Navi, they are getting the creep advantage here early on, and looking at the Dire jungle, I don't think we've got any stacks just yet. No stacks, and it's warded. If you don't get your farm early, it could really cost you as they toss Dendy back into the tower, maybe wanting to farm heroes, but doesn't have mana for an Avalanche right now, and just going with auto attacks onto Sneeko. They drop a Sentry Ward. Sneeko fencing around Dendy, looking for a raise. He's only going to hit maybe. Doesn't find Momoya.
Tango the Sentry.
They're thinking about it. Nobody wants it. They're just going to auto attack it down.
Maybe it was next to, or it was more for the Tiny. He was missing HP. Tango's the Sentry, and it's the...
Well, in the Radiant jungle, bit of a go here. Havost and Chow8 duking it out. There's the heal, but rotating in. A very early movement for maybe. Havost is fast, though. Poison Touch comes through. There's the toss forward. He might even be throwing Chow8 into his own demise. Are they diving this? They're thinking about it. 4 heroes rotating, but nothing accomplished. And Sneeko even going to arrive and look to punish Chow8 on the way out. Quite a few auto attacks. He gets off the double Windwalk, and he gets the kill solo. The charge comes now, but well worth the exchange. Just so much space created here by the little bounty hunter.
Yeah, gets him up to level 3.5 as well. This is a very successful roaming bounty hunter so far. Experience going his way. He's getting a lot of support towards Dendy, who's 24 last hits to the 7 of Tiny. This is a similar story to what we saw against Secret. This IO Tiny mid just struggling against Shadow Fiend.
And there's the added problem of the lack of jungle stacks right now. Last game, LGD had a quad stacker on this point. This game, they've got absolutely nothing. And even if they go for it, it's very likely that Sneeko's going to be there. They're going to need to invest 3-4 heroes to secure any sort of farm for maybe. It puts a lot of pressure here on Sylar, but in comes Dendy with Sneeko. A tri-lane mid all of a sudden erupts, and well to the benefit of Navi. Now the chase in the river. There's the charge from Yao. Does to follow this up. This was how EG tried to do it, the bounty. And now the toss. The Ava as well. Not enough to kill up Dendy, but Spirit Breaker standing his ground. 17%. There you go. Gets the kill and looks for more. The tether forward, the toss back. Kind of an awkward exchange, and Yao says, I'm going in anyway. Sylar's arrived, and what do you know? It's 5-man Dota from LGD. Another bash. It's another kill. The intergalactic space cow on the prowl.
LGD are like
making the plays.
They're out Naviing Navi right now. They're just like diving at your tower and running right at you as 5.5 minutes in the game.
I mean, boy, would you have loved to have Funnick there or what? He's level 6. He had a TP. He only has 2 points at Scream, but still could have done a lot of work as they continue to pressure this mid lane. Dendy may even look for a final killing raise here on maybe, but it's only level 3. Not quite enough damage. But yeah, like you said, out Navi, and that's where you want to see Funnick get active. He's on the move now, hasted and rushing in mid.
Oh yeah, Tiny's gonna be very careful. He's low in HP, still nearby, and Yao reveals himself, but he's not an easy target with all his HP and survivability that he's packing.
That's probably the worst hero to go on. Either maybe or MMY a better choice, but they got to find somebody away from the tower. Funnick just begging them to come out. He could maybe even get a double with support. Sneeko again going invis. I love the way they're using this bounty hunter though. They didn't have the early sentry mid, and then they immediately got dewarded, and since then Navi have had the true sight superiority in the mid lane, which means he's just free to move around and do as he pleases.
Yeah, and that's something we've seen most teams be really disciplined in dealing with the bounty hunter. They'll kind of had that sentry battle in mid lane where they're using their tangos to de-sentry, but LGD, I mean, they're still in a good position. They're up kills, they're getting farm on most of their calls. Gyrocopter especially top of the net worth chart, so by no means are they in a bad position, but they haven't really shown that willingness to just play the bounty hunter battle in the mid lane.
A lot of the mid game feels like it is going to come down to Sylar. Phase boots up, early Reign of Basilius complete, he's hit level 7, and he's got a TP scroll. This is where Navi do need to be careful. You go for a tower dive, and you may well end up giving that double, triple kill that we've seen so many times away already in the tournament, and just completely blowing the game open. As they make their move on mid, the raise is attempted, can't quite get the kill on maybe. And LGD will back off for now.
Right, so for LGD, it looks like they're just going to try and get Yao's level 6 in the top lane, but for him, I think he's quite happy. He's been able to achieve a lot for his team in the mid lane with his rotations, while meanwhile Funnick's just been kind of sitting top. His rotation failed, didn't actually get any kills for his team. So while Funnick's farming well, he hasn't really had the impact you'd like to have with Sonic Wave.
The dive bottom from Sylar. Huge engagement. And now a triple TP reaction. They need the Shuriken toss. Will he get it in time? Yes, he does. Big kill going to be going the other way here. Sylar doesn't even have mana for Rocket Punch. Now called and finished off. That is not worth it. Gives up his own life just for a disruptor. Underestimating Navi's own willingness, but I suppose in good news, does force 3 TPs. LGD now moving in. They have not been scouted out here just yet as they walk up the ramp. And they find Sneeko immediately. The avalanche, the toss, dead. They strike back quickly.
Funnick showing up, has Sonic Wave available.
He could go for these supports. They're rather low HP, but a well-timed Grave could hurt them a lot. There's a charge coming as well across the middle lane. It's pinged out immediately by Funnick's Queen of Pain, and they know, but... Oh, okay. Yeah, let's get a chill.
He loses the charge because it was on a creep, so the creep died.
Gotcha.
No more charge. Deep Dire Ward in this bottom lane, though, is really helping them out, give them a lot of important information if they want to take fights around the Radiant jungle or this Radiant bottom lane. They have complete intel as far as hero positions go in that area.
And they are starting to press up, but look at Dendi keeping up in farm. This is pretty much what we saw out of Arteezy as well in game 1 of the last series. Was Shadow Fiend just seems to do fine as long as he gets his help, even against a Tiny Wisp. Sneeko, you mentioned the deep ward gods. This could hurt. He's not yet level 6. He's being pinged out.
And they're
really committing for it. Yao doesn't have any mana here for another strike, though. He can't go that far. Does force out a TP, which gets immediately canceled. Not sure if LGD actually saw the TP. It was close to the daytime vision. They are starting to think about pressure, and they have a toss ready, which means this tower should fall. LGD going to be the first ones to spill that type of blood. It's the Rockman does work with the buildings. Oh, the toss back. What's the toss? Meanwhile, the river. Bit of an engagement breaking out. Sneeko getting charged. The Rocket Barrage continue to do its work, and now the Dusk can come into play for Yao. Finally, he's going to bring down the Bounty Hunter. LGD really just completely copying what EG did against Bounty Hunter in the previous day's matches versus Vici Gaming. Seems like the Spirit Breaker is a great way to deal with him. He goes anywhere, you ever get vision, you charge him, and at best he's running away, at worst he's feeding a kill.
Yeah, and it just helps you know exactly where he is, and normally those are very safe charges, because Bounty Hunter is further away than most heroes would be from their towers. He's trying to... Bounty Hunter is the scouting hero. He's trying to get information on your side of the map, so a charge on a Bounty Hunter almost always can lead to a kill.
They try to prep for a go on Sylar, but with Xiao Wei in reserve, this does not seem like the right time. Gonna sit back and farm it up. Still, when it comes to gold and experience, a very even game here as far as gold goes. As for the experience, NaVi have pulled ahead. Almost a 2k experience lead on. A bit over 1.5, to be precise. Looking good through the laning stage. And it looks like it'll be that next round of big items coming out that'll really break the game open. The Blink Dagger coming out for the Axe. No stack still for Tiny Wisp as well as the Gyro. It is a bit of a worry to me that there's just nothing going for LGD as far as economy.
Yeah, he goes to sack it, sees it fails, and it will obviously know from that it's either warded or the Bounty Hunter was there blocking it, so... Does make his life a little bit difficult.
Charge. They're going on Sylar. Static Storm's there. Don't want to let him get off the cooldown. The Queen of Pain ultimate, not enough. Oh, he didn't even get it off in the end, though. The charge. Yeah,
the neutrals.
Makes it a 2-for-1. Meanwhile, the Disruptor will get denied by the neutrals, but Dendi gets picked off while this is happening. And that is probably the biggest kill of them all there.
Yeah, that hurts NaVi. He's there kind of...
They're lucky that it was a neutral deny, or it would have been a 2-for-1 officially, but... They still disrupt her back to the base for now.
Yeah, Yao has had a huge impact on this game. 3-0-2 so far. He's only got 9 CS, but...
Oh, Courier. In danger. Sneeko. Oh, he times it just right. There's the snipe. Immediate TP out and nothing to cancel it. Carrying a measly Iron Branch, but... they'll take the gold. That's all that matters.
Yeah, we're talking about the Dire vision earlier, but Radiant have great vision around the mid lane, the Dire jungle, blocking the neutral stack for the second time this game, and also towards this bottom around Roshan area, which has spotted out a couple of charges already, so...
You know what would be really interesting? If when you kill the Courier, you get more gold depending on the items on it. Like, you're rewarded for killing... You've seen those, like, 9k Courier kills, right? That would be...
Which should scale into the late game, too. The later in the game it is, the more money you get for a
5,000 gold Courier kill if it's a 180 minute game.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, man.
You're going to introduce comeback mechanics into Courier kills. If the other team's ahead, you know, the rubber band comes back. Everybody misses the rubber band, of course. You know?
I do. I want it nice and taut, you know, so it can always snap back the other way. We can be We can be the yo-yo on the string.
It instantly evens up the net worth.
If you're ever
going to
kill, the net worth just goes even, no matter what.
Exactly.
Okay,
So
here we go. Ice Frog, I hope you're listening. We've got the balance touch. And also Buffalo Shrek while you're at it.
Oh, yeah.
LGD moving in. They've got a deep board on him most, and they're going to look to go on him. Call down comes through as well. The bashes are strong. He does manage to get off the call, but it's not going to matter. Meanwhile, on the backside, NaVi gets trapped out. They do lose their tiny up the bat. Great static storm by Artstyle, but Sylar hunts. Diving deep. The IO going to relocate out. Artstyle trying to survive this. Dendy's Requiem helps him out a little bit, but not enough. They can't finish the job, and they even manage to keep the gyrocopter away with a glimpse from Artstyle. Both NaVi here surviving on fractions of HP. Huge plays from NaVi, and now Funnick, the blink, and he body blocks Sylar. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Down he goes as well. LGD get punished.
Outplayed
And
so
outplayed.
hard. That, like, Dendy's Yules arrived just as he needed to save himself from the gyrocopter. LGD just kind of overextending a little bit, and NaVi is saying, no, this is what we do. We're going to punish you for doing what we do. They know that just too well, and that really gave NaVi a huge boost. Dendy skyrockets on his farm. He's just picked up the Yules, and he's already sitting on 1,000 gold, and he's about to farm a stack of the Ancients. This is bad news for LGD.
And still, LGD's neutrals are warded. They've either had vision or direct ward block for almost 15 minutes straight, gods. And I don't think have we seen anything when it comes to the ancient stacks. Just a single double stack here, and I mean, frankly, I'm not sure anyone can farm it. It seems LGD is going to play this like they did game 1 versus Secret. Just fight. They got the early blink on maybe, and they just walk down mid. They're looking for pressure here, but all the big spells are up. Havost has his own blink ready. Watch for the wraparound. Shao8 on the move. Under cover of smoke. He's in front, wants to get a ward down, but he's going to get revealed here along with Sylar. Havost, that's a rare sight. Sees heroes and blinks away. Normally, he's the one going in as the charge comes through. Connects an Artstyle. He didn't see it coming. The Yules now come down. Static Storm dropped directly on top of Artstyle along with the kinetic field. It's a whiff. And that may force NaVi to sack this tower as LGD rush in. Saniko falls prey to the rock, maybe finding the combo play. And, well, no creep wave. Maybe they can't push in despite the kill.
And just the bounty hunter kill as well. They couldn't go for anything in return. The tiny tethered up and with overcharge is not going to take much damage from like a Queen of Pain combo there. Although Sonic Wave also on cooldown being the big important thing. So I think that's where LGD are going to look to continue to apply pressure in this mid lane without Sonic Wave. NaVi just missing that little bit of firepower which they need to be able to bring down some of these tankier heroes. The tiny sitting on over 1300 HP, Sylar over 1k HP. You need every little bit of damage you can get.
Dendy just sits back now as BKB is in the offing, and once he gets it, not really much physical damage. With the blink build, the gyrocopter mostly magic damage for now. Dendy will be a bulwark in the front lines, but he does have to farm it first. And we still haven't seen the NaVi track gold really kick in. That is the worry for LGD. Even if the game is quite close now, one bad fight and suddenly it gets really bad. And there's a track onto a huge core hero, Sylar, glips, dunked, and chop, he's dead. That's a big kill, but maybe goes in anyway, so screw it. Dendy, the self-Yules plays again. Queen of Pain comes through, doesn't really do a whole hell of a lot as Dendy drops low. One more auto attack, they need a little more damage, they're not gonna get it. Dendy walks away. Yao now stuck in the middle of a boast and his cleaver. A Requiem to keep them back, Shao8 with a quick TP away. Barely escaping with their lives. LGD. Again, just outplayed. NaVi getting the jump, NaVi getting the picks, NaVi escaping on slivers of HP, time and again, and outfarming LGD to boot.
These Yule Scepters are just paying dividends. Dendy there with the self-Yules being able to kind of delay LGD's ability to damage him and bring him down. The Yule Scepter on the Queen of Pain as well, just being able to take one hero out of the fight temporarily so you can focus someone else. These have been great item pickups. Now when Funnick and Dendy reach their BKB timings, you mentioned it earlier, the physical damage just isn't there. The Tiny's going to take a long time to get to his Aghanim Scepter and whatever follow-up item he wants to go for. On the Gyrocopter, he's going to be going for a BKB, so he'll have like a Drums BKB build. He doesn't have much physical damage for some time. These BKBs give NaVi's cores a lot of survivability. Almost, they're kind of invincible during them. They can be locked down by a Spirit Breaker, but you're not going to be able to kill them.
Yeah, when LGD runs this strategy, it marks, I guess in some ways it is kind of their style, right? Even if they pick harder carries, they they want to get active around that 10 to 20 minute mark, try to establish some momentum and advantage, then they go back and focus on their farming. But you compare it to, like, say, the way Secret plays a lot of these types of drafts, where they focus on farming for minute 1, and it's a very stark difference. The result in this case is they don't have the best plan B for now. If NaVi get ahead, LGD have not geared up to just turbo farm in the mid game. They have the heroes for it, but they haven't really itemized to focus on it. Now Dendi sitting back, farming up the top lane, closing in on the BKB. The Yule's first Shadow Fiend was just so much more prevalent in the previous patch, as you can see from the percentages here, but it still is very viable. It's still very viable. Yeah. Much more, I guess, a little more situational nowadays. Here we go. Big smoke. Sneeko, the one to reveal. They plant a sentry. They dust as well. But all quickly, the Yule Scepter is coming out again. NaVi using these to just disengage and frustrate LGD, who come in anyway. There's the call down from Sylar. Comes in for the backstab. They glimpse him out, but it's too late. 2 dead off the bat. LGD, they just keep on banging their head against the brick wall, but this time they're starting to make chunks of it fall away.
Well, yeah, NaVi have to be careful. The Yule Scepters can kind of delay things here, but it's not going to win them the fight straight up. There's still a lot of damage output from a Gyrocopter at this stage of the game. Importantly, he just hit level 11, so that was a level 2 cooldown coming out, and LGD just had the number superiority. They had all their team rotating in, and this is a classic move for them, especially when they're a little bit behind. They'll make sure they take a fight with 5, smoke up maybe 3 or 4, have the relocate come in that case, and then come out on top, because it secures them a Roshan as well. Really, really helpful sequence of events for LGD.
It really reminds me of the TI4 finals, where it was just ROTK and Xiao8 butting heads game after game. Nobody's going to back down in that matchup, and this is just classic Xiao8. If it doesn't work, just try it again with more numbers. This guy is not afraid of a fight as a captain, and, well, NaVi a bit unprepared for it. They do get a tower top, the tier 1 falling as a trade, but LGD definitely going to be happy with that sequence of events. They TP on their gyro. There's a Queen of Pain in the neighborhood, but that Gyrocopter, not really the target you want to be focusing right now if you're NaVi.
Yeah, not an easy kill. And this is, and going for solo pickoffs on the Gyro Tiny, you're never really reliable if you don't know where the Wisp is, because if he's seen behind with a relocate out, well, that's often not a very easy save.
Through Funnick, and then they stop. They got the dunk, they got the kill. And here's a Midas now, so they are going to get a little bit of extra farm. They're also going to get an art style along the way. NaVi, it's really been their biggest issue here at the International 5. Just getting picked apart one by one. We've seen it in multiple games, whether they hold a lead, whether it's even, or even with the deficit. As amazing as their team fights can be, sometimes they get a little spread out. And Spirit Breaker, Wisp, Tiny, this is the kind of draft that can really punish any mispositioning.
Yeah, you've got to make sure you maintain your composure and really have a clear plan. For NaVi, it doesn't feel like they're really grouping up as much as they should be. You look at what LGD have been doing, very methodical in the way that they're finding kills, grouping up when they need to, smoking S3 with the Wisp plus Gyrocopter or Wisp plus Tiny not with them because they can relocate in if there's a big fight. If the 3 heroes just find a single pickoff, then they don't relocate, they only do so if needed. For NaVi, they're kind of spread apart, too thin, and don't have that same ability to back one another up.
Again, the charge, and again, it's on Sneeko. And more, they seem to be zeroing in on him. The dust coming out. They have another strike at the ready, and maybe's here. Toss. All kinds of weird lag spikes going on in the air. He does his acrobatics, but when he comes back down to earth, it's just a crumpled corpse of a body. They have the BKB on Dendi now, and this has to be the centerpiece of their fights moving forward. It really feels like NaVi need to play around this, need to use it to their advantage. They make a move on Sylar top. He's not the BKB carrier, but here comes the relocate, as you mentioned. Could be there momentarily if they want it. There it is.
Oh,
saves him. No, he does clip him back. Sylar left alone. Artstyle will end up surviving this, and now they're going to be able to get the Wisp on the way back. Is there anything to tether to? Doesn't really look like it. Get ready for a call. It's going to be 2. Artstyle coming up big in the clutch. NaVi, much needed momentum. And most importantly, they're going to delay that Gyrocopter BKB. Don't think he was able to purchase it before he went down in... Oh, no, he did. He got the BKB recipe. Well, that's good news for LGD. Still, NaVi, 2 kills to go in their way.
That's a big play with that glimpse. I don't know how much of that is like slightly lucky timing, because they didn't have vision of the Wisp. Maybe he saw like the tether, and the millisecond you see that tether coming in, you just glimpse expecting the relocate out, but very clutch from Disruptor. That is a big kill to be getting on Sylar, who It's kind of, I mean, we talk always about Sylar and Maybe, which is the real one position, but when they've done this Gyro Tiny, the Tiny's been more of the mid-game tempo controller, while the Sylar Gyrocopter tries to take more farm, but Sylar's not really keeping up too well. He's already had 5 deaths this game, and we're just 23 minutes in.
Yeah, it almost feels like they're... You know, it would be easier if one was just, okay, you're the designated farmer, you focus on stacking ancients, you focus on farming up your jungle camps. Speaking of which, we should take a look at the Dire Woods here as there's a charge in. We'll have to hold that thought. Going right through Sneeko, he's going to bash him on the way. Does he stop for the dust? No, he just keeps on going. Funnick throwing out the Yule Scepter there, and now a Static Storm. Can they glimpse him back in? You betcha! Dendy waiting with the raises, and Yao's YOLO dive starting to get punished here, as he continues to just go in deep on his own.
Yeah, that's what they need to do. At least it's for LGD. They're thinking, okay, it's just Yao. It's not Maybe, who's had a big kill streak to his name. He's 4-1-7 and getting close to the Aghanim Scepter, and that's where the Tiny's kind of pulled ahead, at least a little bit ahead of the Gyrocopter as far as where the farm party is going, because Maybe's just been so successful in his rotations and ganks. Sylar, a few just kind of overextensions. There was the bottom tier 1 tower where he gets a kill on Disruptor, then ends up under the tier 1 and pays for it with his life. So it just doesn't feel like Sylar is that comfortable when he's forced to play this aggressive style, go for kills as much as Maybe is.
Oh, there's your BKB from Dendy. Maybe starting to take a lot of damage here. There is a Yule Scepter, but with the Aegis, not the hair that you want to commit on too much. And the Tiny gets Yule so that he can't actually cancel the Requiem. He's kept out of the fight. Now Funnick on the run, but he's being charged. What do you know? 5 heroes again, chasing after Navi, hunting them everywhere they go, and Yao will complete it, clinches the kill, and gets a lot of gold there. 664. It's very rare that we don't see just a big clump of LGD heroes balling across the map as a squad. I mean, they have so much mobility. They can just do it and then go right back to farming.
Well, that's the great thing as well about the Spirit Breaker pick, is it just gives them that hero that can be just omnipresent on the map. You need him there, well, or you kind of play around wherever he's charging, which was exactly the case there with the Tiny already in the bottom lane, the Relocate coming in as well. And another charge mid lane.
Again, this time on Arcstyle. Is he going to see it in time for the glimpse? No, he had his eyes forward. Denny is there with the Yules, ready to go, but now Maybe rotates it. He's able to get off the toss off on Denny. I think the BKB still cooling down from the earlier fight. Bottom, he won't be able to use it. 3 dead for NaVi. LGD storm down the middle lane. They've got eyes on a tier 2 and maybe more, and all of a sudden, what do you know? Maybe's got an Ags, and LGD put themselves firmly in the driver's seat.
Yeah, you've got to be really careful this part, because this is where a lost team fight leads to quick towers for LGD with an Axe Tiny coming up. So NaVi up until now had the overall net worth advantage, but this is going to even things up with the tier 2 tower. So NaVi just going to have to make sure that they can kind of fine-tune some of the fights that they are playing around. They've still got a lot of potential with this farm. Queen of Pain about to hit BKB. Dendy already sitting on BKB and Blink Dagger. Their team fight for NaVi is very scary. You lead with an Axe Call, you have a Static Storm follow-up, 2 BKB cores.
We just haven't seen those Havost initiations this game. He's sitting 1, 2, and 6. But honestly, I feel like a lot of those assists are kind of running in last minute, throwing out a Battle Hunger. There hasn't been a big Blink call, drop the Static Storm, throw a Queen of Pain ult over the top. Like you said, huge potential for this draft, just hasn't been realized as of yet.
Yeah, it always seems like when LGD are finding kills and leading the way, they've got like a clear, methodical like approach to it. With NaVi, it's very reactionary. They're just trying to adapt to what LGD are doing, which for the most part, it worked for them as far as giving them an early game advantage, but now it's starting to get punished by LGD, who are just finding these quick pickoffs, getting out, and not giving NaVi time to find the counter kills.
NaVi do start to congregate towards the mid lane. 4 heroes grouped up right now. They still hold that tier 1 top, which is a safer place to be, or at least so it feels right now. But you can see that LGD's starting to get in their heads a little bit. Even when they're not killing, they're actually farming the map pretty efficiently right now. They've got NaVi boxed in psychologically. They don't really want to go off on their own. They're not even going for ganks, and if they don't find a way to break out of this contain, the gold graph will just naturally start to tip against them.
Yeah, and exactly. You can box NaVi in, and then you try and just take advantage of the farm on the map and just play the economy game. Work on Yao's BKB for the Spirit Breaker. Work on the Gyrocopter's next kind of farming, or at least damage at him. The Butterfly that Sylar likes to go for an MKB, whatever it may be. And then Tiny, you've already got the Ags. You can start thinking Assault Caress. So
I think my biggest worry here, Gods, is what is the counter to a Spirit Breaker BKB charge? That is very soon in the future, and there's actually nothing. They have nothing that pierces BKB to cancel the charge. Your call is never going to work because you're always going to get bashed trying to go for it.
I think you just have to like posture defensively. For Queen of Pain and Shadow Fiend, you can self Yules to dodge it and then
That's true.
blink away afterwards. For Axe, you just have to Force Staff / blink away and then...
And if you're Yao, you're just you have eyes straight on the Disruptor every fight because he has no way to save himself.
Yeah, absolutely. Like those 3 heroes are kind of hard to charge into because they'll just pull you too deep, and he'll have to cancel charges more often than not. But yeah, Disruptor's the target. Bounty Hunter, whenever you catch eyes on him, is also normally positioned very aggressively as well.
And the Disruptor's a gigantic part of Navi's team fight. It is the nature of the Bounty Hunter support that you ask for more out of his counterpart. So if he's shut down early, makes the fights tough. Here comes the pressure for Maybe. He'll take down the tier 1. LGD getting more active on the map as the game progresses. There's your double damage route for Maybe. Up to 2,500 gold. BKB up on Spirit Breaker. Farming towards a Tricore at this rate. The supports are rather poor on LGD, but they don't need a whole lot of farm to have a huge impact just because of how strong defensively these two can be.
Yeah, and I like that LGD are blocking off the Radiant Ancients, just trying to limit the places where Navi can farm.
And they're also farming their own Ancients. They've started to really focus on that. And Suniko again. He's left the comfort of the tier 2, and he's going to pay for it with his life.
This is smart warding from LGD. Something very important to do against Invis Roamers is have the sentry with the Observer Ward. Havas escapes ganked narrowly with the full stuff there, but you look at like what LGD have done in the jungle. Sentry next to the Observer Ward, so you can see when the heroes like Bounty Hunter, Clinks, whatever it may be, are rotating around the map. So it's really important to have sentries active with your Observer Wards when you're playing against these Invis Roamers.
Again, the pump fake charge from Yao. He's just always looking to go in here. He's thinking about a jump on mid, or at least threatening one, but Gaps to back off. They'll get their next Aegis. Either Sylar maybe to pick this up, and with that, LGD, another 5 minutes here of aggression. Or farming, whatever they desire. There's the charge. They're going in again. This ward has not been countered, and Havas, little does he know, he's in a terrible position. Yao may even commit for this. Oh, he wants the other string, gets fogged. That might have even been a good thing that he got fogged, because he was a solid screen and a half away from the team. But they will end up retreating out. And now even a gem picked up by the Dazzle here of Xiao 8. LGD want the map control. If they have the wards up, if Navi are in the dark, either Navi don't leave the base and get out farmed, or they leave the base blind and get charged and ganked and relocated upon. So just playing the map control game now.
Yep.
It seems that's the transition here for LGD.
LGD are really good at getting a lot of value out of their supports, even when they don't have a lot of farm. Like Jiao just sitting on a medallion. I will be hitting mech soon, but you compare it to a team like Secret, this is nowhere near the kind of farm you'd see on like Puppy and Kura at this time.
This could be an opening. They have spotted out the Tiny on the top lane as Yao charges in, but Shadow Fiend is waiting for this. Turns with the auto attack. Now the Static Storm deployed, but it's too late. Already the BKB came from Sylar. He was prepared for that. Then the bash coming through. They're going to isolate and bring down Funix Queen and toss forward the Copter of Doom as he lays into art style. Will tear him a new one, courtesy of the Rocket Barrage, en route to 2 more kills. And an easy 5-man push down the top lane.
Yeah, T2 Tower will be free for LGD, and Navi maybe going to have to be forced into mounting a high ground defense here at the top lane. Tiny going to be beating away on their door, and this is bad news for Navi. Still 30 seconds on Queen of Pain, 12 seconds on Disruptor, and there's no Static Storm, even when the Disruptor responds.
They keep on going. Well, back now, you've got your core items. You have lots of insurance here with the extra lives, the defensive potential of these supports. LGD, they want 2 more 2-0s, and they would love to be first in this Group A coming down the stretch. They're looking for the Game 1 win here. The Tier 3 falls, and maybe continues the pressure. Clubbing, chunking away. The tower already gone. Navi up against it here. Just a creeping tossed in. A warning shot for Maybe. Don't come near me. Let me have your tower, then maybe I'll back. But Navi have other ideas. Where's the blink call from Havas? Nothing yet, just a Yules. They give it up for free. Now they want to chase, but now is not really the best time to go. They're just going to watch their base. They get a glimpse. BKB dodged, I believe.
Yeah, BKB.
And, well, Sylar back to farming. That's his butterfly. That's Yao Vlad's. And maybe, probably the Sonkuras, or no, BKB coming out very soon. 3 more very important items for LGD coming out. And more Navi feel caged. backed into a corner.
I think they need to like use their smokes, group up. They're trying to still fund this Disruptor Aghanim Scepter, which is a big game-changing item with the number of BKBs on the dire side. You've got 3 BKB heroes. This would help out a ton, but it's still a long ways away. And I think going for a smoking pick-off on a core hero is maybe the way to go to kind of make that next jump, try and get a pick-off, and then try and get a tower out of it as well. But very just hard time to do that when LGD have an Aegis. You don't want to head in the direction of this Titan when he's got 2 lives.
Sandra's going to be picked up. Dendi just going for the cheap items that don't require a lot of build-up. The Sanj and Yasha will be his choice. They're still rather lacking in physical damage here, Gods. The Queen of Pain doesn't offer anything. Your Bounty Hunter purely there for track. And with the build Dendi's gone for, it's a mobile build. It's a decent split pushing build, but when the DD rune ends, which he's currently sitting on, they have a tough time fighting their way through these tanky LGD frontliners. Spear Breaker, 14 armor with the Vlads, and that's before you look at the Dazzle Weave and Medallion. Maybe sitting on 16, again, before the Weave and the Medallion. And the Gyrocopter of Sylar has 28 armor with Evasion, and now they're jumping in. They go for the Avatar. Straight away, Havos is put on his back foot, and he's not going to be able to initiate with Comfort and full HP. Maybe taking some damage here from Dendy. They're working him down. He still has the Aegis available. They can't quite finish him off. That hurts. They would have loved to fight a fair 5v5, but LGD, they're looking for the 6v5. Round 2 coming soon.
And he's back to full HP already, so this is...
The Urn charges, the Tether heals, the Dazzle heals. It's endless heals here for LGD.
He'll have one more creep wave worth of Aegis, so probably going to look for the tier 3 tower with this creep wave, or at least to go in and force Navi onto him to start a team fight.
They have eyes here, and they're going in again. Maybe he's the one to initiate. He's the Aegis carrier, unafraid of even losing it now. He knows the team will be there in reserve. MMY, no relocate just yet. They continue to charge in. Missile, hunting Havost. As Navi
that's going to be the
hold
Aegis
for now. They
back.
get the glimpse. Does he want to BKB it?
Yeah, he does.
He will.
The Aegis was very close to expiring, about 10 seconds away, so.
All right, Navi hold. Good defense for them. Still LGD. It's not like they're running out of item slots anytime soon, and they've again got excellent scaling cores, so...
Navi on chase, though. They're walking past a lot of wards here, so I don't see this leading to anything.
They want to get active, but the last time we saw them get active, it was top, and it ended with 3 Navi corpses and a long retreat back to the base. No Aegis. At least get some wards out. That seems to be the plan here for Navi. They plant down one near the bottom rune, and they're going to try to squeeze what farm they can out of the land.
Yeah, Havos will have enough money for a BKB, so Havos can be a lot less scared when he wants to initiate into these upcoming fights against the magic damage, at least. And Spirit Breaker not really thinking about Nether striking an axe once he's gone in for a blink call, so... Main target will be the Den DSF. If you can cancel a Requiem using the Spirit Breaker Nether Strike, that's going to be the ideal scenario for LGD.
Saw Kurash coming soon for maybe. This could be big, though. Havos picks up his own BKB. Doesn't have to worry about getting interrupted by something like an Avalanche, and can tank a lot more of the LGD damage, which is starting to tilt towards the physical. Saniko does get caught in the Roche Pit. I imagine was going on a warding mission there, but doesn't end up going down. Able to back himself out with the TP. Slow down now. Yeah, he's going to fire up some camps. Navi probably just waiting for that next Roche respawn, and I guess the big question, Gods, is can Navi contest it? Can they go into the pit, fight LGD head on, or are they going to have to just let them take the Aegis and then defend the high ground?
I think they definitely can contest LD, and I think it's a good idea to try and make that play. They have a better shot fighting around the Roshan pit, I feel, than just defending against a slow, methodical LGD siege with an Aegis Tiny, who's going to have an Assault Crest for the next push as well. So, to me, I think they really want to try and finish out Sal's Acceptor. Dendy's even giving him the jungle farm over himself to try and do so, but...
He's 80 gold away, but look who's running down mid right now.
He needs the point booster still. He's actually...
Oh, okay. Oh, you're right.
He's even further than that, so it's actually quite a ways for Artstyle.
It's only got the 2 components. Yeah, it's going to be sometime. I don't know if he's going to have it before
Probably
the next
not.
push.
Yeah, not for the next Roshan, for sure, it feels like.
A key item with the triple BKB.
They just can't... I feel like Navi... This is the time for taking... Not even about taking chances, but making a play happen. I think sitting back here is going to be a mistake for Navi. They need to get active, use their smokes, and find some kills.
Well, hard to smoke gank when LGD are just hugging their tier 2 mid. They sit back.
LGD is an incredibly hard team just in general to smoke against because you always know they're going to be grouped up. Like, that's the thing. It's like you're not finding a solo pick-off like a Secret S team where you know, like, TZ is always often solo split pushing and playing kind of deep. With LGD, you're just like, they're grouped as 5. If we smoke, we're going to have to 5v5. Do we want to 5v5? And NaVi's probably saying not really.
And even if they're spread out, it's never like... It's either... because they have an idea that it's safe. Like, if they see a couple of NaVi heroes and they split push with the Tiny Wisp, or they're not really that far away. They're all in the same general area of the map. I mean, and this dates back, I mean, even to when they were playing in G League Season 2.
They're 5-manning Ancients right now, and they see heroes on the map. They have vision of NaVi towards the bottom lane, although NaVi will deny them some of that vision now, but... LGD were just grouped up as 5 killing Ancients. Now they'll split up a little, but even like when they're split up, they're still very much in a kind of similar quadrant of the map.
All about the next Roshan now.
Here's
NaVi looking like they may want to make their play. They get a ward up. Sneeko surging forward right now. Dire Vision doesn't actually see him just yet, but he's going to walk up the hill. There's a dust here. The gem is a little bit farther to the north. Xiaowei not in position. Sneeko gets eyes out for NaVi, but do they know that everybody else is waiting up the hill? NaVi thinking they might want to go, but they just want somebody a little more isolated as a target.
Very hard to go on a Tiny when you know there's an Irising somewhere behind him.
And maybe even a Dazzle, potentially. And all the while, there's a Tiny Illusion top lane just clubbing down this range Drax.
Maybe was just baiting there. Like, even if you get him with a Blink Hole before he BKB, so you can actually dump your SF damage on it. Like you blink Wreck him, it's not going to end well.
LGD's turn to smoke.
Oh,
they're wrapping around. Sneeko.
He's got a gem. He does not want to lose this.
Oh, no. He's got the TP out, but he hasn't moved just yet. Where's their...
Dazzle's not here.
They have a dust, but they didn't know he was exactly there. The Dazzleback saw.
Yeah. Dazzle's the one with the... Spirit Breaker is dust and Dazzle's the gem, so...
Still, they lost their ranged Rex. Just the illusions of maybe picked up the rune earlier, doing their work, and they're still hunting Sneeko. Oh god, they found him. Avalanche coming through. Where's the gem?
Reveal his position.
Where's the gem? The gem not quite here yet. Xiaowei trying to get in position, but the call down coming through. Sneeko, he barely escapes! Oh, that is so important there.
Xiaowei was positioned very far back and defensively because he doesn't want to get jumped because he needs to make sure he gets Graves off in this fight if needed. So it feels like they need to get the gem. Yeah, they gave the gem just now to Yao. If Yao had the gem there, Sneeko would have been easy pickings.
Oh god, would he ever?
They're going to go for the Roche contest. They're going to be
drop quickly here. Here comes NaVi on the rotation. Abos jumps in, but already the Ace is picked up by Sylar. Who's going to grab it? Yano tanking in the pit, clubbing for all his work, but not doing a whole hell of a lot. Sylar comes back for round 2. Now he BKBs, and maybe there. Welcome to the back zone. He jumps in, delivers the toss. It's 3 dead. Almost every core cleaned up. And Sneeko in a headlong retreat. He's got no TP. This time he will lose the gem. It's 4 down. Aegis was popped at a bare minimum, and they did manage to snag the cheese for Dendi. But what does it matter? LGD in through the bottom lane. Ranged Rex dropping and dead. That's already 1.5, and they'll be looking for more. They, relocate maybe back. That's going to delay the push a little bit. But Sylar's in now. It's his turn to work up buildings. Slightly slower going, but it looks like he'll get it nonetheless. The Savos is zoned back by a missile. No buyback outside of the Queen of Pain. And hell, even if they have 5 gods, it just feels like they are totally outmatched when it comes to the damage department. LGD wrapping on mid, looking for the Megas. They want the GG here. It'll be another point for them if they can grab it. Up to 12 with a chance at grabbing 3 more and going up to 14 if they can win game 2. There's the buyback. The last hold for NaVi. They don't want to give this one up just yet. In comes another strike focusing on Disney. BKB from Yao. He charges forward. He gets another kill. Abos just gets wrecked. He BKB's far too late. Wouldn't have mattered. And NaVi absolutely trucked, demolished, utterly destroyed by LGD. I mean, just look at the graph. It was close up until the 25-minute mark, almost dead even. And then just the plummet as LGD grab objective after objective and cruised victory.
Yeah, LGD's mid-game is just so scary to deal with. You know they're going to be grouped up, but there's still... You can't really easily split push them, especially when they go for this IO Tiny. They had so much catch potential. Yao's Spirit Breaker was charging all over the map. Sneeko had a tough game, and he ended up 2-10 on the Bounty Hunter, but it was very hard for him to move anywhere. For Sentry